Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I uploaded, so I decided to give you something new to watch. I guess it's not really that simple. I do stuff in real life, most like other people, so yeah. So, the main thing in Scratch is this little guy right here, when green flag clicked. Basically what it does is it initiates all the code that's attached to it when this button is clicked. See? Another important one is the if then. This may sound complicated, it's really not. It's basically saying if this action happens, then this will happen. I like to use it a lot for movement, so if right arrow pressed, change X, which is this way, by 10, making it increase, so go this way. If I said negative 10, it would go this way. So I'd have to hold right arrow down, and it would slowly go this way. But you're noticing that's not really good movement. So another important block is the forever loop. What the forever loop basically does is makes it so the if action always happens. If you wanted to have right and left movement, you could simply duplicate the original script, change it to left arrow, and change the X to negative 10. So now you can move left and right. Now you may be wondering, what the frick? And to that I say, indeed, what the frick. Another thing that's really weird is if you get a minus here, and you get right arrow pressed, and a left arrow pressed, and put this here and this here, you can actually get some really weird, wacky movement. It makes zero sense to me, that's why I never use it, but I'm sure there's a better way to use this. Another good thing to use is the move 10 steps. I use this a lot when I'm using another block called the point block. So I could say point in direction, say 120. So now he's pointing that way, and I wanted to move that way, but changing the X by 10 is just making a move that way. What I do is get the move 10 steps button, and I'd instead have it be this. So now he moves 10 steps, and then I'd have to add the negative 10 steps to the left arrow. Now he's moving whichever way he's facing. Oh, I forgot to press it. See? Pretty simple. When you're starting out, it's gonna make zero sense what any of this does, but I thought this might help. Another thing that you can do with an if block is if you wanted to add like very simple jumping, you could have if key up arrow pressed, change Y by 10, else if not touching, and then what you're gonna want to do is make a level. What I do is just make a box, giant freaking box, and then I'd say if not touching your giant box right here, not touching level, which means if it's not touching the ground, it'll do this. It'll change your Y by negative 10. And then as soon as it hits the level, it does that. Another thing you could do is have it so it's repeated by 10, and then make it so make a variable called jumping. Now what you're going to want to do is, once it's pressed, set jumping to 1, and then have an if in this forever loop. If touching level, set jumping to 0, and then get an and block, have jumping, have equals, and 1, and then put it with the up arrow pressed, change jumping to 0, and then what you're going to want to do is make it so when the green flag is clicked, the jumping is 0. Now, how it'll work is you can only jump when you're touching the ground. You can't just jump when you're already jumping, you know? I'd make this like 5, you know? It's like a nice little quick jump. And honestly, I'd move it to its own block, like this. Get rid of all the forever, and then put it there. Because what it'll do, it'll make it so none of the other script works while you're jumping. So now, it's not like laggy. Another thing about Scratch that's really interesting is that it's color coded. So see how this is blue? You're going to want to come over to the block section and look for the blue section. And that's where you can find that type of block. And they're separated by category too, which is really helpful. I've learned a lot from Scratch, and so this is just some of the most basic stuff that a beginner would like to know. Here's a sneak peek at one of my new games that I'm making. I'm gonna turn the music off just because it's probably copyrighted. But as you can see, I've made really good movement, shrinking, portals, multiple levels. Still not even close to done, but I just thought you might think it's cool. If you want to check out any of my Scratch projects, I would recommend typing in my name when you're just normally in Scratch. It's XJ Core. It's the same as my YouTube. You just type it in, and you're going to see some games by me. So you can tell it's me because it's this logo. And yeah, these are some of my games. I really enjoy making games. There's more coming soon. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Later.